everyone, welcome to Branch Out Brain. Today we're going to be talking about prions. They are some very mysterious pathogens that not many of you may know about. So when we think of pathogens, we usually think of these tiny microorganisms, or maybe sometimes fungi or some sort of parasite insect. So we think of viruses, bacteria, things like that. But what if I told you that prions aren't even alive? So let's get into it. First, what is a prion? So, prions are basically misfolded proteins. They're not exactly the proteins that you get when you eat protein-rich food like pulses. This is a slightly different concept. Proteins are basically some of the basic building blocks of your body. They make up cells. So basically, a bunch of proteins come together to create things like amino acids that actually help run your cells. Anyway, proteins fold, which is basically somewhat like an on-off switch for a protein. So when a protein is folded in a certain way, it's turned on or off. This is a simplified version. The topic of protein folding is simply gigantic. It could probably cover a sort of course on this channel with 10 or 15 videos. So I'm not going to cover it in depth here. So basically, a prion is a misfolded protein. So you could see how this goes wrong. A misfolded protein is like a factory where a switch is off. Let's say a security mechanism doesn't work, or a certain enzyme is not produced. You can easily see why this is going to be dangerous. And next, we move on to something about prions. So, prion diseases are extremely dangerous. They have a 100% mortality rate and they're incurable. The reason for that is that they actually are non-living, thus making them pretty much impossible to destroy. Of course, there are a few ways like subjecting them to enormous temperatures or radiation, or actually, really, scientists aren't sure about what to do about these prions, frankly. And if you really want to destroy a protein, you'd probably just end up destroying the entire human body. So, I don't think it'll really work trying to say destroy it with extreme temperatures. Anyway, some common prion diseases are mad cow disease and Kuru. So mad cow disease affects cows. It causes a sort of loss of mental functions. They sometimes just get fits of rage. They sometimes become listless. And their brain just slowly starts to shut down. You'll see this pattern with prion diseases. They all affect the brain in some way or another. They all are related to diseases like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. They're suspected to be a cause for these diseases, and quite a few correlations have been found. And humans can get a variation of mad cow disease. They call it mad cow disease. The version that humans get is also called mad cow disease because they're just so close that it's pointless to give them another name. So, the next disease is Kuru. This is mainly present among tribes that consume the dead as a ritual. So, this disease is usually spread when a dead person who's infected with Kuru is usually eaten by a living person. Usually, it transfers through the brain. And this disease works almost the same as mad cow disease. It causes a decline in brain function, weakening of the body. It's not as evident for mad cow disease in the picture, but you can actually see to some extent the effects in the picture of Kuru with the malnourished boy. So now it seems like prions are these terrifying things that we should all be scared of us, and that doom is upon us because of these prions. But that's simply not true. Why we shouldn't panic? So here I've created a chart about the chance to contract a certain disease. Prion disease is 0.02%. That's literally not appearing on my chart. It's that small of an amount. Malaria, 95%. Measles, 80%. Dengue fever, 80%. Rabies, 60%. Tetanus, 50%. So all these common diseases are far more likely than prion diseases. Furthermore, I've also prepared an Excel sheet that will show you an interesting fact about all of these same diseases. So, this spreadsheet shows something called the danger score that I just made up, but it to some extent, with some accuracy, shows how little danger prions pose to us. So, how I've calculated this danger score is that I've taken the mortality percent of the infection chance and rounded it to the first decimal place. Let's just say a disease has 100%. Let's say it has 50% mortality rate and the infection chance is 100%. Then the danger score will be 50 or 50% of 100, which is 50. So let's go on. So the median mortality rate is 100%. The infection chance is 0.02%. And that makes the danger score for prions 0.02%. A pitiful score when you compare it to the others. Malaria 46.7, measles 14.9, dengue fever 12.6, rabies 30, tetanus 17.5. So now, seeing all this, you can just realize how puny the number of people who prions have killed are. And it's so unlikely that you're going to get prions in the first place that it's really very hard for anyone to die from them. There are only a few hundred to a few thousand cases of prion diseases a year. And it's just too rare to be considered any sort of threat to the layman. You might be wondering why I didn't mention the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic under all of these diseases. The reason is that these diseases have been ravaging humanity for years and years, so we have tons of data on them. The coronavirus data is completely fluctuating. It's very fluid and nothing is known for sure yet. So I really wouldn't want to take some numbers from there just to be outdated in a few months or maybe a year. And now we've come to the end of the video. I hope you've all learned a ton about prion diseases and also learned not to worry about them. And before we end the video, we'd like to wish you all a happy new year 2021. We hope this year will be amazing. And since 2020 wasn't that great, we hope 2021 will be amazing. And we hope you all have a great year ahead. Thank you for watching Branch Out Brain and see you all next week.